Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. I'm going to post premium picks on the NFL playoffs. They're going to be expensive at dwyervip.com. Again, for my thoughts on the NFL playoffs, go to dwyervip.com, right, for those premium picks. Let's just talk about Denver, the one seed in the AFC. Right now, a lot of people are wondering who Denver should start at quarterback. I believe Denver would be making a mistake to start Peyton Manning. I understand Peyton looked good late against San Diego. Fair enough. But what I want the football hardcore to do is to look carefully at Peyton Manning's regular season numbers. Folks, they're terrible. Look at the number of interceptions. Now, my point to you is if Peyton is as adept as we all believe he is at reading defenses, if he knows who the open receiver is, if exotic defensive fronts don't fool him, then understand the number of picks that he threw indicate that he's at that troubling part of his career where he sees the open receiver but can't get the ball to them. Look at his receiving core. It's loaded. A lot of teams would love to have Demaryius Thomas. A lot of teams would love to have Emmanuel Sanders. His receiving core is one of the better receiving cores in the National Football League. That makes his poor numbers, his bad regular season that no one's talking about, it's as if it didn't exist, even more problematical. Right? It's not like he was throwing to no-name receivers. He wasn't throwing to a young Funchess, a kickoff returner, playing wide receiver, Ted Ginn, like MVP, future MVP, right? He'll be named MVP shortly. Cam Newton was. Understand, many other quarterbacks did far more this year with far less than Peyton Manning. Think about who Aaron Rodgers was throwing to. Jordy Nelson hurt. Right? James Jones, he'd actually left the Packers. Then he had problems. That's why he was available at the beginning of the year. Right? What kind of year do you feel Devontae Adams had? An injured year. Right? Randall Cobb, he probably wasn't on anyone's Pro Bowl ballot. My point to you is Peyton Manning had more to work with than Cam Newton and Aaron Rodgers, and he did less. Far less. Let me point out too, look at, and this is all in the numbers, look at the difference between Denver's running game with Peyton Manning and Denver's running game with Brock Osweiler. Folks, it's night and day. Right? The running game was dead. Dead with Peyton Manning. With Brock Osweiler, suddenly those running backs came to life. Hillman, C.J. Anderson, right? They came to life. The offense is much less predictable with Brock Osweiler. I don't know if they're going to pass on me or run on me. Right? Let me also make really the most significant point here. Peyton Manning, even when he was healthier than he is now, for an elite quarterback, had a very pedestrian playoff record. Right? Think about it. He's been to 3 Super Bowls. He's been favored in all 3. He's lost 2 of them. In other words, he lost 2 Super Bowls in which he was favored. Right? The Saints Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl. The one Super Bowl he won, his opposing quarterback was Rex Grossman. Right? That was the Bears Super Bowl. Right? Understand, we're here looking at Denver with the home field. We're thinking about Peyton Manning playing in the playoffs, at home, in Denver. Many are licking their lips. Isn't this what Peyton Manning had last year when he played Indianapolis, at home, in the playoffs? Folks, he got beaten. Chuck Pagano and his team figured out Peyton Manning could not go vertical. Indy last year was not a defensive juggernaut. We know that because the next week they got destroyed by the New England Patriots. Right? They beat Denver, folks. Look at Denver's offensive numbers for that game. They were bad. Right? So, my point to you is, hey, don't get caught up in the moment. Yes, Peyton looked good against San Diego late in the game. Yes, there is an argument that Peyton Manning with rest is better than Peyton Manning without rest. What's the alibi for Peyton Manning having a choppy playoff record when he was younger? Right? Understand, Manning lost a few games at home. Right? When he was a Colt, I remember the Jets went to Indy, beat Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. Right? So, I have no doubt that Peyton Manning, can read defenses better than most. I have no doubt that Peyton Manning is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Right? But let's just say schematically, with Peyton Manning, the team isn't better positioned than it is with Brock Osweiler. Manning is better served, he's best used as a change of pace. Right? The defense is dealing with a mobile, athletic Brock Osweiler, then suddenly, here's Peyton Manning. The dynamics change. He's better in that capacity. Then he is given the football after kickoff and told to play it for 4 quarters. Right? We saw that this year. We've seen how his performance has deteriorated. I believe Denver would be best served, quite frankly, keeping Brock Osweiler in the starting role. Let me point out, too, the 2 seed are the New England Patriots. Let's say, hypothetically, the seeding holds, and I don't think it will, but let's say the seeding holds, and let's say New England ends up playing Denver in Denver for the AFC Championship. Folks, what I want you to do is to just look at Bill Belichick's record of success in the playoffs against Peyton Manning. Right? I'll agree. A few years ago, when Peyton led Denver to the Super Bowl against Seattle, right? 2 years ago, Seattle's first Super Bowl victory. I'll agree that year, in the infamous Talib game, right? New England went to Denver and lost to Denver. Understand, that's a rare occurrence. Normally, Bill Belichick is on top in the playoffs, right? There is that famous game where New England goes to Indianapolis, and Indianapolis beats New England, right? New England started that game terribly. No question about it, right? That's the game where Peyton Manning, of course, is able to get by New England and then goes on to win his first Super Bowl. Excellent. Good for him, right? But again, those games are outliers, right? There are playoff games where Peyton Manning is throwing a lot of picks, and this is prime Peyton Manning, not the Peyton Manning of this year who threw a lot of picks during the regular season. Right? Belichick knows how to deal with Peyton Manning. There was a long body of work. There isn't the same body of work for Bill Belichick against Brock Osweiler. Right? So, let's hope that cooler heads prevail. Let's hope that Denver, as it sits down and thinks about which moves it wants to make over the next 2 weeks, right? Because it has a bye. Let's hope that Denver figures out that really the torch has passed. Peyton Manning can be extremely valuable as a backup. Extremely valuable. But if this team wants to be less predictable, right, it should go with the quarterback who this year has the better quarterback rating. And folks, that's Brock Osweiler. Let's remember too, Osweiler's not a rookie. Osweiler was on the team watching Manning for years. Right? So, I think it's a mistake to play Peyton Manning as your starter. Right? I'm going to disagree with all the pundits out there. This video is really pitched to gamblers, to the gambling crowd. Just think about it. Right? If certain things happen, Denver could be challenged in their first, I'll just leave it at this, in their first home playoff game. Right? You don't want what happened last year when Indy came in and beat you in Denver. Right? Keep an eye on this situation. Denver's choice of starting quarterback is going to speak volumes. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. Let's try to beat the casino together. I hope you leave your comments in the comment section to this video. And of course, for premium picks and some other commentary, visit us at dwyervip.com. Again, that's dwyervip.com. Thanks for stopping by.